Okay, welcome back teachers and tutors. Now let's continue with the themes of 1984. One of the main themes would be totalitarianism, in the sense that 1984 is a dystopian political science fiction. It is written in 1949, right after World War II, after Stalin rose to power and the Iron Curtain in Eastern Europe of totalitarianistic regime took place. And there's a continued relevance to contemporary society, especially Singapore society and China. And their early and present day reception of the novel, which you would have to understand in its context, in its socio-historical and political context, was that in a lot of the societies of the world, the book was banned. And the reasons for the book banning is basically one of vested self-interest of the ruling elites. Now let's consider the next theme, that of conflict. There are two different types of conflict, internal versus external. So basically man versus society, man versus man, and man versus himself. Now let's consider the next theme, that of psychological manipulation. The psychological manipulation in terms of telescreens propaganda and brainwashing tool and the all-pervasiveness of the big brother and the junior spies threaten the family institution, where sex is used as a reproductive duty and the enemies of the party are invented for emotional outlets, where they throw stones and express their anger and violence towards the invented enemies, so as to prevent or contain any sort of dissent. And we have the theme of physical control here. And physical control, basically the nervous system could give away one's inner thought. So there are special torture techniques designed to make them give away their innermost thoughts. Physical jerks, any physical facial contortions or expressions would be monitored very closely through the hidden cameras. And the tedious work at the gown agencies, where it causes exhaustion and brutal torture. Especially the government, the party would be able to recondition its subjects to believe that 2 + 2 is equals to 5, and to undo the commonly held belief that 2 + 2 is equals to 4. As Winston contemplates as he sits in the cafe and he writes on the dust on the table, 2 + 2 is equals to 5. This shows us that he is successfully converted into an obedient subject of the party. And then there's the control of information and history, where the past newspapers and photographs and documents have been eradicated so that people do not have any sort of emotions, or people are not having sentiments or feelings. And the party controls the past, the present, and the future, so that any memory of any historical event will be erased completely from the collective social memory. And then we have the theme of technology. The theme of technology tells us that there are hidden microphones and telescreens everywhere in this society, which constantly monitor the citizens of Oceania. And then we have the theme of language. Language as mind control. This theme is basically in the form of newspeak. Newspeak is this invented language which limits or restricts the freedom of thought by eradicating certain words such as family or love, God, by eradicating such terminologies from the dictionaries of the everyday people. They are able to eradicate the conception or the thought processes that go behind conceiving of such thoughts. So it is basically narrowing down their vocabulary in the dictionaries, which nips any subversive thoughts in the bud and promotes conformism and stifles deviance and alternative thoughts. And then we have the theme of doublethink. Doublethink is basically the ability to hold contradictory beliefs at the same time. And there's the hate week rally, which is switching its enemy from ally. So basically the crowd's reaction is to accept it unquestioningly. What happens is at the hate week rally, the party actually changes its enemies without warning. So what it does to the people is to accept it unquestioningly. Their unquestioning conservatism is sort of conditioned into them. They are not expected to ask any questions in response to the changing of the enemies of the party. They're supposed to just accept it as it is taken for granted. And they're supposed to express the anger towards the new enemy. And then the ironic names of the ministries, such as Ministry of Plenty, Ministry of Love, Ministry of Peace, all perform oxymoronic and paradoxical functions. Okay, and then we have the theme of urban decay. Urban decay is basically a manifestation of the inefficiency of communist regimes in providing adequately for their citizens. So basically there's a lot of hunger and impoverishment, and there's a lack of electricity and plumbing. And Big Brother is always watching you. There's this omnipresence and omnipotence, but there's the inefficiency in providing adequately for the citizens. So definitely this is reflecting a communist regime. And then you have to consider other points as well. So the symbols are going to come up next. So stay tuned.